Hey everybody, Dr. Rob Silverman here. Happy holidays. We are going towards the new year. 2023 is upon us. And I just wanted to be a little reflective and look back at some of the biggest health myths that I've seen people adhere to in the year of 2022. Can't have a New Year's resolution and start new without getting rid of some of the old. So here for me are 6 of the biggest health myths to really get you started on a healthy 2023. So let's take care of them all. Interestingly enough, many people are surprised by myth number 1 in that most people think that fructose, which is the sugar from fruit, is actually a healthy sugar. Well, to be frank, there's no sugar that's really healthy. And fructose, for me, is a sneaky carbohydrate. It is not a healthy carbohydrate. As a matter of fact, consumption or too much of a consumption of fructose actually leads you down a path of increased release of uric acid and leads you to have a condition called gout. So fructose is the number 1 reason. A great read on information like that for me was Drop Acid by Dr. David Perlmutter, great functional medicine doc, great functional neurologist. In addition to the fructose, it is also the number 1 reason for non-alcoholic fatty liver. So people are looking at me and saying, wait a minute, is an apple bad? An apple's not necessarily so bad. Are berries bad? No, berries are my choice of fruits to consume. The problem is people consume too many fruits at one time. They may consume 3 or 4 at a sitting, and that's too much. Fructose actually goes to the gut and then goes to the liver. So that's why I like to call it a sneaky carbohydrate. If you're going to consume a carbohydrate in a fruit, my suggestion is to consume that fruit or carbohydrate at the end of the meal. So I would suggest to consume any kind of fiber and vegetables initially to get a visual mesh to sort of protect your gut and to push the fructose so the absorption isn't quite as high. I would then eat protein and fat. And the last thing I would eat is carbohydrates. And those carbohydrates in the form of fructose should be limited. One little side about fructose is that some of the bigger problems is something called high fructose corn syrup. They're now allowed in stores to use a label and call high fructose corn syrup fructose, with the average American consuming 63% of their calories from ultra-processed food and 70% of their calories from high fructose corn syrup. We're being fooled into thinking that we're consuming just fructose when it's really high fructose corn syrup. So number 1, fructose in a limited amount is okay, but eating a cornucopia of fruits is not a good thing. So fructose is not a healthy carb in abundance. Number 2, talk about this with a lot of my colleagues. Cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol is not necessarily bad. Cholesterol is in every cell membrane. Cholesterol is the body's way of healing. So it's not really cholesterol that's bad. It's the LDL. Let's start with the LDL. So LDL and HDL. There's HDL, which is good. There's LDL, which is bad. H, happy, should be high. LDL, low, lousy, should be low. But there's derivatives and subtypes and particle sizes of LDL. And that's the problem. I believe that cholesterol isn't bad, but we need to do a better job on taking lab tests. In that, I believe that when you go to your doctor or if you come into me, I will test for not just LDL. I will also test for LDL particle size. So in the particle size, you want a small type A particle, a smaller particle versus a large particle. So think of your arteries as a carpet and think of the LDLs, which are the bad guys, as I said before, particles. Small particles can get under the carpet and bump up the carpet and you can't get to it. You have to remove the carpet. However, a big LDL particle is like dirt on top of the carpet and you can come and vacuum it away. So you want small particles. Some other markers, just as a standard point, would be LDLP. How many particles? So if you have a cholesterol molecule here or particle there, there's only so much space. We all start with one bad cholesterol particle on the molecule. So again, the amount of particles would be indicative of a really adverse effect. So cholesterol isn't bad. It's the subtypes and taking the right test for cholesterol, which is a critical outcome. People love to count calories. Oh, I'm counting calories for weight loss. I don't count calories. Not to say that the first law of thermodynamics is wrong, but it's at the bottom of my list. I don't count calories. I count chemicals. I don't count calories. I count satieties. I don't count chemicals. I count nutrients. I count when you eat it, in the framework of which you eat, the combination and your genetic output. So yeah, I mean, if you eat 10,000 calories versus 100 calories, clearly there's a difference. But people who are just counting calories are looking at a very small spot on the map of being able to lose weight. Crunches, sit-ups especially, are enabling you to get a six-pack. No way. Sit-ups and crunches are no bueno. Anything that causes you to bend at the stomach area, bend at your lower back, is actually causing what we call lumbar flexion. That lumbar flexion, with my chiropractic background, leads you down a path of increased incidence of herniated discs. So crunches and sit-ups, bending, are not a good choice. Planks, side planks, rollouts, those are the things where you hold yourself tight, because the point of core in core exercises is very simple, in that it's there to hold your core tight so you can move your periphery. You don't want to bend at the stomach region. I know Muhammad Ali in the 70s made it famous to do sit-ups, and he said he didn't start counting till it hurt. The real question is, was it really advantageous for abdomen activation? Studies have shown no. Again, the plank, the front plank, the side plank is much better without any deleterious effects to your spinal junctions. Yogurt is a healthy food. No, I don't agree with that. Well, first of all, everybody knows that I'm not big on dairy. Many yogurts are dairy. There is coconut yogurt, which is a much greater consideration for me. Coconut yogurt, if it's just coconut yogurt from milk, I would definitely consider it. But most yogurts, especially dairy yogurts, are a non-starter. They're high in sugar. They don't have enough probiotics. They have, if they have any, they have probiotics that are registering and rated in the millions when you need them in the billions. There's also a lot of sugar. Again, we're getting to that cane sugar, that fructose sugar in the yogurt, and there's artificial sweeteners and colorings and everything. So yogurt really isn't a healthy food. If you want to have a healthy food, have an avocado, let's say. If you want to have a yogurt, again, a coconut yogurt would be a good choice. Rest is your best choice for concussion. I still hear that. Treat a lot of concussions in the office. I lecture on it nationwide. Rest is not an option for concussion unless movement causes symptomology. So if somebody were to come in here and we try to move them around or walk them and they got dizzy, obviously rest makes sense. But to recover on your recovery path, rest is not necessarily the best option for concussion. You can't really sleep. You can get sleep during, let me be clear, you can get sleep for a concussion. So for me, if you have a concussion, some of the better choices would be low-level laser, robust literature on low-level laser on concussion. In addition to that, some great supplements to help it heal. In that, I would believe in magnesium L-threonate, pro-resolving mediators, the clear winner omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and turmeric. Also, any kind of brain games in concussion would be a great choice, proprioception. So rest, sleep, isn't necessarily the answer for concussion. Activity has shown to be, especially steady state, the choice for concussion. And lastly, sitting is not the new smoking. It is, without question, the new smoking. Get up and move around. The desk I'm at is actually a stand-up desk. I'm a big proponent on getting exercise. So if you had one, if you will, one particular hack that I would recommend, the hack without question would be to start moving and exercise every day, 30 to 45 minutes. So Dana Barry, you just got my book, Immune Reboot. Thank you very much. And I appreciate that. I know a couple of people have reached out to me. We will put in the comments how to get the book, because a lot of people said that's a little hard on Amazon. It hit the bestseller. Thank you all very much for your support. And little difficult time at the holiday season. So we'll give you a link where you can get the Immune Reboot. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Everybody have a happy new year. Dr. Rob Silverman, always yours in health.